Amanda Halterman, a star of 1,000-Pound Sisters, recently lost a family member who was very dear to her. This is just one more instance of the unfortunate events that have happened to the Slaton family lately. The show is mostly focused on the weight loss experiences of Tammy Slaton, who is 28 years old, and Amy Slaton, who is 37 years old. However, their siblings, including Amanda, who is 33 years old, also appear on the show. The Slatons are a tight group, which is why they spend so much time together. Since the show first aired in 2020, the Slaton siblings have all shed a significant amount of weight. However, life has not been all fun and games for the stars of 1,000-Pound Sisters Season 6. The family has been through some difficult circumstances recently, which have resulted in the untimely death of a family member who was very dear to them. Continue reading to find out more about the most recent challenges faced by the Slaton family, including their tragic loss. The Slatons have been having a hard time recently. Tammy and the Slatons are a close-knit family, so they were all emotionally affected when they learned that Katie Slaton, Tammy's cousin, had stage 4 cancer. Tammy went on Instagram to promote a GoFundMe campaign for Katie. Tammy commented, "I'm really sorry to ask for such a big favor, but if anyone is able to help, even if it's just $1, it would be a huge help to my cousin." She continued by saying that Katie was a member of the cast of 1,000-Pound Sisters. "Anything and everything is very much appreciated. Tammy may leave Kentucky." Tammy threatened to leave Kentucky at various points during Season 6 of 1,000-Pound Sisters. The show is filmed in the Bluegrass State, where producers can take advantage of profitable tax breaks. The program may come to an end if Tammy were to leave Kentucky. Tammy could, in principle, reside in a different state and stay in Kentucky during production, but that would not be a long-term option. Tammy and her sister Amy are the main characters of the show, and if Tammy were to leave Kentucky, the play would probably come to an end. Amanda said goodbye to a family member she adored. The Slatons are people who adore animals and have always had pets in their lives. Amanda just issued a heartbreaking news on Instagram about the death of her mother's dog, Baby Girl. Amanda stated, "My mom's beloved Baby Girl passed away the other day. Over the past 20 years, she has brought my mother a great deal of happiness and companionship. That is not a mistake. My mama has had a baby girl for 20 years. The star of 1,000-Pound Sisters then requested prayers. Tammy Slaton, 38 years of age, 500 pounds were lost. Amy Slaton, 37 years of age, 169 pounds were lost. Chris Combs, 44 years of age, lost 150 pounds. Amanda Halterman, 44 years of age, 31 pounds were lost. Misty Slaton Wentworth, 48 years of age, 74 pounds were lost. Brittany Combs, 36 years of age, not known. The Slaton family's journey has always been one of resilience and struggle, marked by moments of profound pain, occasional triumph, and a collective spirit that keeps them going. Amanda Halterman, a quiet but pivotal figure within the family, has long been a support system for her sisters, Amy and Tammy. However, amid the ongoing challenges, she faces a new, heartbreaking reality, bidding farewell to a beloved family member. A family in crisis. For years, the Slaton sisters have been in the public eye, their personal struggles laid bare for the world to see. Tammy and Amy Slaton, both battling severe obesity and its health consequences, have become household names. Their journey has been filled with high-stakes moments of weight loss, setbacks, and the struggles of living in the limelight. Yet, amidst it all, one constant has been their older sister, Amanda Halterman. Amanda has never been the one who seeks attention. She's been the quiet strength behind her family, the one who picks up the pieces when things fall apart. but lately it's been harder for her to hold everything together. The toll of caring for Tammy and Amy, both of whom have had their own struggles with weight and health, has started to weigh heavily on her. Their recent battles with weight loss, medical issues, and emotional hurdles have cast a shadow over the family, and Amanda found herself increasingly stretched thin. On top of this, Amanda had been grappling with a loss of her own, a loss that had nothing to do with her sister's ongoing struggles but was nonetheless devastating. Her beloved aunt, a figure in her life who had always been there for her, had been battling an illness for some time. The news had been grim for months, but Amanda held on to hope, holding her family together while she quietly tried to process the inevitable. The day came when Amanda's worst fears were realized. The phone call she had been dreading finally arrived. Her aunt had passed away. It wasn't unexpected, but that didn't make the pain any easier. She felt an overwhelming sense of sadness, a deep ache that rippled through her heart. For so many years, her aunt had been a steady presence, always offering advice, comfort, and love. Now that chapter of her life was closing, and Amanda found herself wondering how she would continue moving forward without this guiding figure. Amanda wasn't alone in her grief, though. Her family, even with their ongoing struggles, had their own ways of coping. Tammy, though often consumed with her own challenges, still held a deep love for her family. Amy, too, though wrapped up in her journey to motherhood, understood the weight of the loss. Together, they would have to find a way to heal. The weight of loss. As the days passed after the funeral, Amanda found herself in a quiet, reflective space. The world around her continued to turn, but for her, it felt like time had stopped. She had always been the one who took charge, the one who kept things moving, but now she found herself exhausted in a way that was new to her. The weight of loss was heavier than anything she had experienced before. It wasn't just the passing of her aunt, it was the culmination of all the struggles that had built up over the years. She had supported her sisters through their battles with obesity, stood by them through the highs and lows, but now, in the aftermath of her aunt's death, Amanda was forced to reckon with her own feelings of vulnerability. For the first time, she allowed herself to mourn fully, to feel the grief she had been pushing aside for so long. As the family came together to support Amanda, they too had their own emotional weight to carry. Amy had just recently gone through the emotional and physical challenges of pregnancy, and while she had emerged stronger, the loss of Amanda's aunt reminded her of the fragility of life. She knew her sister needed her, but at the same time she had her own struggles to manage, her children, her marriage, and her health. Tammy, who had spent most of her adult life grappling with her health and weight, found herself looking inward as well. She had been trying to make strides toward better health, but the grief over the loss of someone who had been a constant in Amanda's life hit her harder than she expected. For once, Tammy set aside her own personal struggles to reach out to her sister. She knew that Amanda needed her now more than ever, and she wanted to be there in whatever way she could. The bond between the Slatons sisters had always been complicated, but in these moments of shared grief they found comfort in each other. Amanda, in her quiet strength, leaned on them more than she ever had before. For once, she allowed herself to be vulnerable, to rely on her sisters to help carry the weight of her sorrow. A shared grief. The funeral was a quiet affair, a small gathering of family and friends to celebrate the life of the woman Amanda had loved so much. It was a bittersweet day for her. While she was surrounded by people who cared for her, there was still a gnawing emptiness in her heart. Her aunt had been a constant in her life, a source of wisdom, a shoulder to cry on, and a reminder of what family meant. Now Amanda felt that void, and there was no way to fill it. Tammy and Amy, both struggling in their own ways with their respective health issues, had made the effort to be there for Amanda. It wasn't always easy for them to express their emotions, especially with the cameras around, but they made sure Amanda knew they were there to support her. It was in these raw, unfiltered moments that the sisters found new depths in their relationship. Amanda sat quietly, staring out at the field where her aunt's body had been laid to rest. Her mind wandered back to all the moments they had shared, laughter over a cup of coffee, deep conversations about life and love, the kind of moments that only family could truly understand. It was hard to accept that she would never hear her aunt's voice again, never feel her comforting presence. But as she stood by the graveside, Amanda felt a shift inside her, a realization that her aunt's legacy would live on, not just in memories, but in the way Amanda lived her life moving forward. Amanda had always been strong, but now, in her grief, she realized she didn't have to be strong all the time. She had family who loved her, who would help her through the hard moments. And maybe, just maybe, it was okay to let go of some of the responsibility, to allow herself to grieve fully, to feel the pain before finding a way to heal. Moving forward, the days after the funeral were some of the hardest Amanda had faced in years. She found herself questioning everything, the path her life had taken, the role she had played in the Slaton family, and what the future held. For so long, she had been the one people leaned on. Now, in the wake of loss, she had to allow others to lean on her. And that, in itself, was a difficult lesson. As the weeks went by, Amanda started to see things more clearly. The grief never fully went away, but it became more manageable. She found solace in her work, in helping her sisters navigate their own struggles, and in cherishing the small moments of joy that life still had to offer. Her bond with Tammy and Amy deepened. Though they all still had their personal battles to face, there was a newfound understanding between them. They were no longer just sisters. They were survivors, each carrying the weight of their own lives but also willing to help each other carry the burdens. The Slaton sisters were stronger than they had ever been. They still had challenges to face, but they now knew that they would face them together as a family. And in that, Amanda found a sense of peace, a peace that was hard-won but well worth the fight.